Let's go to the Sun Belt. One of my favorite conferences this year, aside maybe from the Mountain West this year to cover. Troy, laying 6 at home versus App State. Let me get this out of the way. Troy -6 as we're picking on the show. There's 5.5s out there. That will be on Dawson's Diner preview. That's just a little foreshadow there. You're telling me I'm getting less than a touchdown with this Troy team at home. I get it. App State's been buzzing. They've won some games. There was a point in the season, though, where we thought App State might just lose it. They might not make a bowl game. And they've
Shame
rallied.
on us.
And they've won some games. How they won the James Madison game, I may never know. The Coastal Carolina game, I may never know.
But they lost that game in pretty epic fashion.
Oh, yeah. Coastal Carolina came back, won that game.
Yeah.
But then App State ended up beating James Madison. That propelled them to this game instead of Coastal Carolina. That's right. Thanks for the reminder. Gunnar Watson has been playing good football. And people are going to point to, what about that game at home against Louisiana? Okay. I don't care. This Troy team, every time I bet on them this year, they have figured out a way to cover. That is twice. 2-0. Make it 3. Give me Troy at home -6. In games that they've been at home, they've won by, they won by 18. They actually lost to James Madison by 2. But we know how good James Madison was, especially early in the season. And then Gunnar Watson started to find his rhythm. At home, you beat Western Kentucky. You murdered Arkansas State. You murdered South Alabama in the fourth quarter. And then, I guess you had that game with Louisiana. It really should have been a more ugly game, if you ask me. But I think Gunnar Watson's been playing well. Come on, Vidal. I think they're going to find a way to do it, man. Win by a touchdown, Troy. How about it? I know I'm just chalk today. I'm absolutely chalk today, but I think that's how this week goes. I think there's a lot of chalk to be had.
Yeah, I think that's the right play. Gunnar Watson's going to play well. Vidal, I think he's going to really find room in a pretty below average run defense for App State. They can really be had in the ground game. And I think that's where Troy and John Jermel can really exploit, right? App State's defense and keep that offense, explosive offense off the field. They have been humming. Ever since we thought, maybe they'll throw in the towel, like you mentioned. They have been absolutely humming. 48 points, 31-9, 42 points, 26 against James Madison. Impressive on the road there. And then just top up another 55 against Georgia Southern. It's hard to pick against them right now. They are hot. But guess who else is hot too? Troy. After starting 1-2 on the year, they have rattled off 9 straight. You mentioned it. They have been awesome at home, in conference. They've been blowing teams out. This team is on another level than everybody else in the conference, other than James Madison. But we did see App State. Compete with them. That's why I do think this will be a game. I do think Troy wins by 7, and that's about it. I'm not gonna bet it myself. I know you're on them. I do like to play. I do see how it is, but I do think that backdoor cover scares the poop out of me with how well that offense is playing for App State.
Troy's got a pretty good defense.
Oh yeah, they do. But so does James Madison. Right.
You're right.
And to me, this is more of
here's the thing. Like
we've been waiting.
Really we've kind of been waiting for that bubble to burst with James Madison. I can't find the stats in front of me. You can find the stats in that game, but I think we've been kind of waiting for like that secondary to kind of not implode, but we've been kind of waiting for that bubble to burst. And we thought it was going to be Georgia Southern. Then Georgia Southern just went on an absolute skitter for the rest of the season. Davis Brin and the boys there. But it felt like App State caught him at a good time. I think Troy's defense I think Troy would be favored against James Madison, I think.
Yeah, probably. Not by much.
This game rightfully should be James Madison versus Troy. I think Troy's favored.
If it's at Troy, yeah. Neutral side, I bet it's a pick 'em, or maybe 1.5 for Troy.
Maybe.
But yeah, in that game, App State against James Madison, Aguilar had 310, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. They did not run the ball well at all.
We've been waiting for that secondary to get exposed. And credit to James Madison for plugging those holes for as long as they did. But App State got him. Troy does not have that same problem in the secondary. I can promise you.
App State had 8 players to have a reception of over 10 yards for first
Yeah,
downs.
come
That is
on.
incredible
Yeah, it is incredible.
in that one game.
Give me the
And
Trojans.
they took them to win in overtime.
You're on the Trojans too.
I am, but I do see a path here for App State, Sean Clark, to get it done here.
He's a good coach. He's a two great coach.
Yeah. Do you see these teams, these coaches somewhere else? I hope they're not. For the Sun Belt Conference, I mean, if you're the Sun Belt, you are looking at this and you're like, what can we do to keep our coaches? Should have been. And yeah,
I mean, Summerall, the obviously one, like if Mark Stoops had gone to A&M, like I think he would have been the first guy that they got on the phone with at Kentucky, being that he was a former DC there. Sean Clark, dude, he's a mountaineer,
for lifer
man.
there.
He's a for lifer there. No, if the like North Carolina job opens up and they give him an offer he can't refuse, I could see him going there. I mean, same way Jonathan Smith. I mean, we thought he was a for lifer at Oregon State, but if the money's big enough and the program,
well, circumstances. It was circumstance I think dictated that more. If the Pac-12 had its shit together, right, and that commissioner wasn't an absolute nimrod, it would have been a lot different there for Jonathan Smith and the future of Oregon State. I think Sunbelt sees himself as, hey, like there is a question about who is number 5 in conferences, and with the SMU losing to the with SMU going to the ACC, the American is definitely, I don't know, like they've lost their top dogs. They have lost their top dogs, and I don't know.
It's the Sun Belt, baby.
The Sun Belt, I think it is, without a doubt. I mean, they have 12 teams going bowling. You have 12 teams going bowling.
More than any other conference.
No, I don't think that's the end all be all, but you have elite teams at the top. Troy, James Madison, obviously. App State's a really good third best team in the country in the conference. Coastal Carolina with obviously hurts you're losing McCall for next year, but yeah, I think the future's bright there. If you can keep South Alabama's coach, you keep Sunraw for another year. Sean Clark seems like he's there for a while. I mean, all of a sudden,
Tim Beck's not going anywhere.
No,